curious, I think there's a general consensus with the group that there's a bit of a different vibe or feel around the team heading into the Stanley Cup Final as opposed to last year. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I think every season's different. I think our makeup of the team is a bit different this year than it was last year, and I do agree with you there. I feel like we're more experienced, obviously, with that run-in. Not a lot of guys had been that far in the playoffs before, so just to have that and to be calm with that and a little more experienced feeling just around the locker room, it's obviously exciting to beat Dallas and to make it to the Cup Final, but it wasn't static of any sort. Everybody is still in a position where we know we got more work to do, and I think it's a focused group, and I like where we're at.
Were you maybe a bit ecstatic considering you just got back to play? You know, a few months ago people thought maybe you wouldn't play, and now you get back and you look good and you're healthy and you get an opportunity to contribute for a cup.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like as you were saying, 6 weeks ago, I had no clue where I was going to be at, and most people didn't think I was going to be in this position. So to be able to be part of this group, to be part of things on the ice and help this team win has obviously been the goal the whole time, and now that it's reality is awesome for me personally. But I think again too, now I've been here, this will be my third final. There's a bit of experience there, and I know that, yeah, a conference championship is obviously something you really want, but it's the big prize that we all want, and I think that's the focus right now, and we all seem to be pretty calm with that.
Did you surprise yourself? Like, are you surprised at all yourself that you're back you're in this spot, healthy,
Surprised might not be the right word. I mean, I obviously had my doubts when doctors tell you something, they're usually right, but big credit goes out to everything that we've done with it, from ownership to management to trainers to doctors. Everybody's helped in a big way, and I knew that there was cases that have gone quicker than the actual timeline, and that's all that was in my head. I wanted to beat that and be back as soon as possible, and sometimes that doesn't work out, but this time certainly did, so I'm happy that it did. And surprised or not, I don't really know. I think I put in the hard work, and it paid off.
Mattias, people think that they know this Oilers team from the past. Florida probably thinks they know this team from a year ago. What are the things maybe about this team at this time that people don't know? What makes you different?
What makes us different from who?
From
ourselves?
Yeah, the team maybe 12 months ago, or even 3 months ago, or 2 months ago.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the biggest thing is just what we just talked about, is the experience part of guys being calm in situations that are pretty stressful, and being able to deliver under pressure in that regard too, right? Like when you've been there and you've seen it, there's no real surprises along the way. There's always going to be a different story that's going to be written, and you have a different team. You have all the things that happens in the playoffs that you got to withstand, so to speak. But if we look at our team right now, like just look at some of the bad breaks that we've had or tough starts to the LA series, but we bounce right back. And then you look at that bounce at home against Vegas, like it's a tough bounce, it's tough for a team to get, like, but we bounce right back on it. And same thing in Dallas, like we play a really good game one, and then it doesn't happen for us, but we bounce right back again. And I think that's the biggest strength of this team, is just every time we seem to have our backs against the wall, we respond and we play our best hockey and bring it the next day. So I think that's a big part of what I think makes us a bit different, so to speak.
What is it about the Stanley Cup Final that's just a little bit different from all the other playoff rounds that makes this experience that you guys have so valuable?
Well, it's the ultimate, right? Like it's the biggest stage in hockey, in my opinion, and it's the highest stakes of games you can play, and there's obviously the series that everybody wants to win. So to be in that, it could be stressful, but when I think both teams here have a lot of experience from that, so it's going to be a bit of a different atmosphere out there. Everybody knows what's going on, and less surprises, so to speak. But I mean, this is what everybody wants, so it should be the most intense.
You lost only one game at home, so how big will be the home advantage this time in final?
Hopefully it'll be great. Obviously, I can't tell you for sure, but we are very confident at home. We know what our crowd brings and gives us energy every time we play at home, but I do think we're very confident on the road as well. So as I know that they are as well. So it's hopefully that will pay dividends down the road, but we're all just really focused on game one and making sure we come out of the gates fast.
Will this feel like game 8 with the familiarity that you have?
No, I don't think so. I think we have a completely different team than we did last year. I think they have a bit of a different group as well, so I don't think it lingers from year to year in that regard. Obviously, they have the same core, we have the same core pretty much, so there'll be maybe a little bit, but no, I'd say this is a complete new series.
Mattias, when it comes to defending the Panthers, what did you learn last year that can maybe be applied and help you this year?
Well, you got to be alert at all times, and especially on their forecheck, they come hard with a lot of guys and a lot of bodies, and if you can be quick on going back for pucks and make that, it's when you play a team that's that strong on the forecheck, it's about making that one play or win that one battle, and that makes you can make that next play, and then things seem to open up more. So you just got to be alert out there and try to, I guess, anticipate the next play before it even happens.
You have some different personnel, obviously, on the back end last year compared to this. You're talking about maybe moving the puck quicker, and just, Jake and John adding, was that kind of help
For
you?
sure, yeah. I mean, you look at the two decors. I thought we had a really good decor last year as well, but I think this year we're different. We're more mobile. I think we have 3 pairs that can play against top lines. They can play against bottom lines. We can all do it. And you look at the game, the clinching game in Dallas, our D-man that plays the biggest minutes played just over 20 minutes. I mean, that's a huge strength to have at this time of year. And knowing that every pair can contribute both offensively and defensively is hopefully something that will be in our favor.
Mattias, when your player comes back from injury, sometimes that injury kind of lingers when you're on the ice thinking about it, I guess. Is that tough to get over, and are you beyond that now, just worrying about playing but not thinking about the injury?
Yeah, it really is, and that's probably one of the biggest things coming back is, like, I think it's been feeling pretty good for a couple of weeks, but you also got to get, I guess, beyond that mental thing where you trust it and when you actually can go 100% in every situation and not think so much, because the minute you start thinking, guys are too good in this league, they're going to burn you. So, yeah, that's been a big part of it, and it takes time. It really does. But it's also the time of year when you don't really have time. So it's a bit of a balance, but I feel really good now. It's nice to get that game in the books and just to kind of get the nerves out of the whole thing, more or less. But yeah, I feel really good, and I feel like I trust my body.
So Mattias, what impresses you most about Evan Short?
Well, I've said this for years. I think that with Evan, there's no moment that's too big for him. He always seems to excel in the biggest moments. He never really gets nervous, so to speak, or he never looks like he's out of place in these big moments. He always brings his A game. You just look at his playoff stats or whatever you want to do. So just the fact that he seems so locked in on the ice when the big moment comes, and he always delivers, I think that's a huge attribute that he has, and what I'm most impressed about.
Mattias, do you have a favorite Stanley Cup Finals memory from the time you were a kid that maybe just sticks out in your mind or maybe inspired you as a young hockey player?
It's hard. Usually, I grew up in the 90s, and we didn't really have – it's 2 a.m., the games are starting, and I'm not old enough to sit up and watch. So, obviously, I've seen the ones where Forsberg won with Colorado, and I think, if anything, that will be the one that stands out. But it would be if any Swedish guy were to win, I guess. But, yeah, following more the Swedish league when I was younger, that's just what it was.
You talked a lot last year about, based on your experience in Nashville, don't go down 2-0. We all know what happened. But given the team's ability to come back from losing a game 1, is there kind of like a push-pull where it's important, but not making it as stressful than it needs to be? How do you
yeah.
do that, I guess?
No, I think you ask every single guy in our locker room, we want to come out flying, we want to play great, and we want to win game 1. You go to their locker room, they're probably saying the same thing. So one team's going to win it, one team's not. And that's what I mean about our team and our strength. And I'm sure they had that too, right? But we always seem to bounce back after, I say, a poor performance or a tough loss or something happened where it didn't go our way. So that's huge to have. At the same time, you want to go out there and you want to play your best from game 1 to game 4 ultimately, but it could be 7. But it's such a tight league, and we know that these two teams it's going to be the little details that matter at the end, and we're going to make sure that we have those on our side.